The Sacrifice of Alcestis, Chapter 10. Chapter 10. Meanwhile Heracles had been led to a guest chamber apart, and the servants ministered to all his wants, and brought him water to wash with, and change of raiment. As they waited on him, he talked gaily to them of his adventures on the way, and made them laugh in spite of their grief for their mistress. Only the old serving man stood aloof, and looked darkly at the stranger who dared to make merry in a house of mourning. When he had washed and dressed, he sat down to meat. They placed an ample meal before him, and brought him wine to drink. But in his eyes the bounty was dearth, and he kept calling for more till they could scarce contain their astonishment at his appetite. At length, when he had eaten his fill, he crowned his head with vine leaves, and fell to drinking long and deep. The wine warmed his heart, and sent a cheerful glow through all his veins. So happy was he that he could not sit in silence, but raised his voice and sang, and his singing was like the roaring of a bull. "Great Zeus, preserve us!" sighed the old waiting man, "never have I heard anything more discordant and unseemly." But the guest grew merrier and merrier, and the face of the serving man, as he watched, grew longer and longer. At length Heracles himself noticed his disapproving countenance. "Ho, there," cried he, "why so dark and gloomy, my friend? I had as soon be welcomed by an iceberg as by thee, old sour face." The serving man answered him never a word, but only scowled the more. "What," cried Heracles, "is this the sort of welcome thou art wont to give thy master's guests? Come hither, and I will teach thee better ways." And he took hold of the old man and set him down beside him at the table. "Alack! What a countenance! And all for a strange girl who has chanced to die. How wilt thou look when one of thy masters is laid in the grave? I like not this mask of hypocrisy, my friend. Thou carest not for her who is dead, but pullest a long face, and strikest a chill to the hearts of all beholders, because, forsooth, it is seemly to mourn for the dead. Why, we must all pay our tribute to death, every man of us, and no one knoweth whether he shall ever see the next day's light. Then count the present as thine own, and eat and drink with me and make merry. A frowning face profits not the dead. Nay, it serves but to blacken the sunshine of this life that we can live but once. Up, man, drink and wash away thy frowns. Believe me, life is no life at all. Only labor and misfortune to those who walk through it with pompous steps and sour faces." And he poured out a brimming goblet. "All this I know full well, master," answered the old man, "but the shadow that has fallen on this house is too heavy for me to join in thy revelry. Thou makest too much of death. Thou canst not grieve for a stranger as thou wouldst for one of the household. Thy master and mistress live. Let that suffice thee." "What? My master and mistress live? Alas! My master is too kind a host. Must I starve, then, because a strange girl is dead? It is no stranger, I tell thee, but one most near and dear. Have I been deceived? Has he hidden some misfortune from me? Ask no more, but go in peace. My master's sorrows are for me to bear, not for thee. And he bade me not speak of it. Speak, speak, man. I see he has hidden some great sorrow from me. Who is the woman who is dead? Ask me not. My master told me not to say. And I forbid thee not to say. Tell me forthwith." So fierce and terrible did he look that the old man trembled before him. "May my lord forgive me," said he. "It is Alcestis, his wife." "Alcestis," cried Heracles. "And he would not share his sorrow with me, his friend, but let me come in and feast and sing while he went out to bury her. Woe is me! I thought he loved me. It was to spare thee pain that he did not tell thee, master." "How came she to die?" asked Heracles, and took off the vine leaves from his head, and poured out the wine upon the floor. Then the old man told him the whole tale. "Where have they buried her?" he asked, when it was ended. "Out yonder, where the white highway leads to Larissa, in the plain. There, on the outskirts of the city, thou wilt find the tomb of the kings of Pherae, where they are laying her. Is there no shorter way I can go and reach her quickly? There is a footpath by the fields that I will show thee. Come, then, straightway. I must go and lie in wait for the black lord of death. He will come up to drink of the blood that is poured out for him beside the tomb. Then I will fall upon him from my ambush and wrestle with him and prevail, and he shall give me back Alcestis. Even if I must go down to Hades and fetch her, she shall come back. She is too fair and too noble to pass her young life in the dark underworld. The old man marveled at his words, but he went out with him, and showed him the footpath across the fields, and stood watching him till he passed out of sight. Verily, we talk and weep, he muttered to himself, and he laughs and acts. He is worth 10 of us.